What's going on, guys? Welcome to an episode of the Booth Podcast. My name is Ken, along with my co-host. And this is episode 39, which is called...
Will I Ever Be Enough?
Damn, it's pretty, tough topic. I'm pretty sure a lot of us have actually experienced that.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, if you guys don't know, if you guys are new to, we just reached like 450 subs right now. Literally, last week we were like sitting around like 250, 280, something like that.
We were sitting at
it's like hovering right there. And then, but for those of you who are new, these are our name, Ken, Dom. There's a podcast about life, love, and the deep things you can't talk about with anyone else. And by that, we mean like mental health, self-improvement, self-development, stuff like that, and many more.
And a lot of relationship stuff. That's probably where a lot of you have come by.
Yeah.
It's like we talked a lot about relationship, and our TikTok has been doing really well.
We're at like 14.6K right now.
Yes, almost.
We reached 10K in like 2 days.
Literally on the podcast, we're just like, we're at 9.
Yeah.
We're about to hit 10. And then like once we hit 10, it just went boom,
Yeah.
skyrocketed. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
TikTok's algorithm, man, and be killing it for us.
Yeah.
But anyways, yes, we wanted to get to the topic of will I ever be enough? I asked Ken, because we were going to do a different topic initially, but it came about to me because I was feeling out what's been going around, right? And I just feel like there's this sense of like, this wave of like, I don't get what I deserve, or I'm not deserving of certain things in my life. I'm in a state where I have just graduated from film school, and I have no idea
what's the next step.
What's the next step? And that also does come from like, just, do I feel good enough to go back out there? Am I good enough to get back out there as a filmmaker? Because when I graduated, I was like, now I can, confidently say, instead of aspiring filmmaker, I am a filmmaker. But now it's like, you can't just say that.
You need actual stuff to like back it up.
Yeah, you need a lot more things to validate those feelings. You know what I mean? And so like, so now sometimes I sit and I'm like, am I just a fraud, or like, how?
Are you sure it was feelings or the actual title itself?
I don't know. That's
I mean, like, if you say I'm a basketball player, right? But I don't play on the team.
Right? Can you really say you're a basketball player though? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. The most you can really say is like, I like playing basketball. Like, that's me. I'm not a ball player, but I like playing ball.
Yeah.
Right. So at least with the title, like filmmaker, right? You need shit to not only back that up. So it's not, I want to say it's feeling, but more you're trying to like live up to the title.
Yeah.
And that's not just like being a filmmaker, but like a title to yourself. Right. Because a lot of people, they always want to put a title like, oh, I want to be perfect. I want to do this and that. Right. But they never think they're enough for that because they're striving for something that's so out of reach.
Yeah.
Right. But I feel like that comes from people who like just look down on themselves like so much. Right. Because I had that feeling many times. Right. Or before, where I've never felt like I was enough. And I always like, try to like become better, become this next step. I wouldn't, just like you mentioned like earlier, like I can't accept compliments for shit. Yeah. And it's bad. It's so bad. Yeah. Right. And like at the gym, right? You or like Ravik or like my boys would compliment me and stuff. I'd be like, no, stop. I'm not there yet. Right. And I've been working on it. Yeah. Yeah. Right. The only reason I say that is because like before I still see myself as like a little chubby kid. Right. And I just don't feel like I'm at a level where I should be called like good looking or a bit big, right? In terms of my body type. But now I'm learning to accept it because I'm like, I can't just go over like my project. I can't just.
Would you say it's because you're learning to love yourself?
Yes.
Would you say
we accept the love we think we deserve?
Yeah. No, we feel that we deserve.
You fucking did. It's the same. It's the think sounds better. Okay. Think sounds better.
You know what's funny is that I'm the one that said think, and he corrected me on it's feel, and so now he just switched it.
Now you've gone in my head for that. Anyways.
But yeah, no, going back to what he says, like, yes, we accept the love we feel we deserve. So when we have these moments of insecurities and we just like keep being negative towards ourselves, it's because we don't love ourselves.
Yeah.
Why? What is there to love? We ask ourselves, you know what I mean? Like, why should anyone love me if I can't even love myself?
Yeah.
And then that also goes into a bigger question is, how do you love someone else if you don't love yourself?
See, that's hard to answer. But I feel like with another person or like, just not even relationship wise, just like friends, right? They help validate like your feelings and your emotions and your accomplishments, right? Because obviously we don't see ourselves the way they see us.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's the reason, I feel like the only reason why we're so hard on ourselves and so bad, like we feel so bad for ourselves, because like it's easy to be mad. It's easy to, it feels good to like just like hate on yourself. It sounds bad.
I'd like to think that hate is the easiest emotion.
Exactly. It's easy to hate. So when you're doing yourselves, it's like you feel like you deserve it. I don't know why, but you just feel like you deserve it just because you've always masked over all the good things you've done in your life, right? As opposed to other people where like your friends and your family members and your relationships, they see things that are good in you, right? But you don't think that's good. You think it's just like temporary.
Yeah.
Right? But to them,
which at times it is though.
Yeah, and I feel like also because like you don't see the impact you have on people.
Yeah.
Right. You don't hear the words like, "Oh, thank you for this," because blah blah blah. Right. That's when we feel like we don't deserve anything because we haven't gotten like that affection, that's that ounce of like love back.
I feel like the problem with this though is like we seek instant gratification.
Yeah.
For what we feel that we deserve, and then once we get it, it's like it's good for a moment, and then after it passes, and then we start feeling the same things.
Yeah,
you know, then it comes down to like, are you seeking like validation from other people, or why can't you just validate yourself? Why can't you just build on your own weaknesses? You know what I mean? Like that's the ultimate way to solve this problem. Is like you don't need to seek love from others. You don't need to seek any attention. You could just give yourself that, and then it should be an abundant amount, and it should be enough. But because we don't want to take time to ourselves, again, we don't feel that we deserve it, that love for ourselves, we won't do it. And so that's why it's easier to just hate and just be like, like those people that don't even play in the game, but they just hate the team. Yeah. Right? Like you think you can do this, go train, go make the team. Right, but you're not. You're on the you're sitting by the sidelines.
Yeah,
shut up. And I think that goes the same with if you're not willing to work on yourself, stop hating on yourself.
Exactly. Dry dog.
Whoa, no wait, that just felt like if you're hating on yourself, but like won't do the work to love yourself, shut your mouth. It sounds bad. It sounds bad. Like I'm saying, don't freaking say bad things about yourself. But it's like when it comes to haters, it's like, yo, don't hate on somebody you don't understand. Yeah. You don't know what they've been through.
Exactly.
You could say that shit to yourself too. It's like, dude, let's wind it back. We've been through a lot, and there's a lot of things that we need to work on that we will. And it's okay to like feel bad about ourselves for now,
Oh, yeah, 100%.
People miss that point. I didn't mean to come off really bad. I'm explaining my point because it was just like a weird moment.
Yeah, yo, epiphany.
Epiphany, that's what it was, epiphany. Basically, what we were going over was kind of like what we've learned to be imposter syndrome. We can easily say that we both experienced it, right? I think heavily, especially because like our whole thing here with the booth is like we have to somewhat have a social media personality in a really weird way, and like it almost comes off as if we know what we're talking about.
Especially when you're starting, you feel like you can't give your opinion because like who the fuck are you? Yeah. Right? Because when we first started out, this is how I felt, right? We'd spew out like first off, I hope you guys know everything we say on the podcast is just based on personal experience. We're not saying it's the truth, but it's what we've seen, what's worked for us, right? And obviously that's gonna change from time to time. So I just want to make that as a disclaimer.
I always say it, like we don't say anything that is factual. We just say what we've learned to be true in our own experience in life. Yeah. So,
but back to my point. Doing the podcast, starting off, I felt like I told Dom like I wanted him more of the face of the booth, right? Because I felt like none of my advice was like good enough, right? Just because like I felt like I was more into like the fun stuff, right? And I had not much to show for it, right? Because I didn't experience as much compared to like other people. Yeah. Right. And my advice is pretty like bland. I would say a little straight to the point.
I would say it's not bland, but it's
simple.
It's simple. Yeah. But back then it was also because back then you weren't really conceptualizing your advice, so it was very naive. Yeah. But now it's in a much more I've learned from other people.
Yeah, like I'm getting there. Yeah. But yeah, like stuff like that. Like I didn't think like I was good enough, and like I'm like, why should I even be on the podcast? Why should I? I'll talk less, let Dom do the talking, let him have like all the fame. like going like.
Sorry, it
and
sounds
shit.
so weird to hear you say that.
But yeah,
go
that's
on.
essentially. And then like yeah, later on, it's like yo, the more people I've talked to, like they tell me like your advice is good. I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, and like now I see the impact behind it.
Yeah.
Where we literally have people like DMing us for advice and like telling us their story and whatever, right? And they just want advice from us. I'm like, oh, you could have gone to like your family, your
Could have
friends.
gone to
But
anybody
nah,
else.
You
They
go to
came
complete
us.
strangers. Some of you are like right across the world,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we've had people from like
Europe and everything.
DM
Yeah,
us,
and
which
it's
is
just like
pretty cool.
crazy. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
But yeah, have you felt like imposter syndrome before?
Always. Like, remember when because when we first started, I wanted to like, I wanted to touch on like different things that I was really interested in because I felt like I could have knowledge back, into that. And we at one point we were talking about the UFC,
Yeah.
and I was just like, to anyone else, I feel like they would call me a casual.
Mm-hmm.
A casual means like you're just like surface level knowledge,
Yeah.
basically. And so it didn't feel right to talk about those things too.
Mm-hmm.
And then it also just like, yeah, who am I to say anything about relationships? I don't have a license or degree in any terms of psychology or whatever.
Yeah.
Who am I? Who am I to talk about it? And so Ali Abdal said it best when I was watching one of his videos. It was like, you're not coming off as an expert. You're just coming off as a guide.
Yeah.
So we're not trying to like be a guru or be an expert in these fields of knowledge, but we're just, this is the path that we took and that we've learned to be true.
This is just our story.
And this is our story. And so like, just tag along with us. It doesn't have to be like, take our advice to heart and like, no. Take what we have and go test it out yourself. Like, it's up to you.
If it works, it works. Doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah, because everyone's life is different. Everyone's viewpoint on life is different.
Yeah.
And, me and Ken are also just learning and growing human beings. And so what we say now, again, could be wrong years from now.
Yeah, bro, because we're only 21.
We're only 20.
We're only 21.
Exactly.
Like him and I turned 21 this year. He's turning 21 this year.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just crazy to think, like, yo, we're still young. We have a podcast, yet people are still, they like it. We're like, yo, we have a lot more experience. Because I'd say, like, now we're actually touching more of life. We're actually getting more into it. Because before, at least, then we had kind of like we had like a safety net. Now it's like
high school?
Yeah, high school, like post secondary, like university, college, like you're still technically under a safety net. Now it's like you're done film school, right? Well, I'm still in school, but like
you're nearing the end.
Yeah, I'm nearing the end. It's like, yo, I know that's gonna hit me. Like it's already hitting me now. Like I work like full-time hours and shit. Right? So it's like, oh shit, I never had this before. Now it's like hard to like manage.
Yeah.
And like I feel like I shouldn't even be talking, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, it's like
yeah, life hit me like a truck. It's there are times that we've taken breaks off the podcast, and one of the main reasons is like, we'll say it again, is like I just always felt like I was never in a place to give advice to people.
Yeah.
And it was because life hit me like a ton of bricks, right? And it has forced me to kind of question what I believe in and what I know to be true in life. And so now what we have in this podcast is a beautiful contrast. I'd like to think so. Where you have,
I do too.
When we talk about relationships, it's a beautiful contrast between someone that has had experience and is slowly disbelieving.
Getting there,
I'm slowly disbelieving in love. And we have
we have a hopeless romantic.
Romantic.
I live my life in rose-colored glasses every day. But yeah, also with that, relationships, right? Like I've been single my whole life, and like I know people reach out to me for relationship advice, and they talk to me about the problems and everything, and then I'm just saying what I notice, right? And at the same time, like, does this advice really help, right? Because I mean, like, every relationship is different.
Every relationship
right?
is super
so
different.
I don't know if it's gonna be right. Like I'll still say it. I tell them like, take it with a grain of salt. It's like I'm not sure it's gonna work, but if it does, it does, right? And I feel like I shouldn't be. I'll hear the problems out.
Yeah.
Right. But like, I feel like I shouldn't even be like, you shouldn't be going to me for relationship advice sometimes. Right. Like, I don't know if it's going to work.
I go to Ken. I'll be honest. I ask myself, like, what am I going to talk to Ken for? What's he going to get?
Yeah. See, exactly.
No, but like respectfully, like the truth of why I go to Ken though is like, because again, like you are the hopeless romantic that still believes in love, that hasn't gotten into a relationship. Sorry yet.
Shots taken.
And it's,
why are you laughing?
and it helps me though, because like I get to talk to me before I got my heart broken.
Yeah.
You know,
This guy's using me.
in a way, you know what I mean. It's like when you talk to a kid,
Uh-huh.
like, and the kid's like, "Why are you stressing about life?
Yeah.
Life's good."
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wish I was you. Like, I wish I was you.
You pay bills?
Yeah.
Do you have financial problems? Do you have that?
Like I miss blissfully believing.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
not to like use you or anything,
No,
but it's
I
like,
know. Don't worry.
it refreshes my brain and like, you know, it gives me hope again.
Yeah, no.
You
What
know?
was the thing? It's like, I forgot where I think it was from How I Met Your Mother.
Always
Or
is.
I think it's like, no, it's from Modern Family. It's from Modern Family.
Okay. Modern
Yeah, so
Family.
basically it's like, you know, the Pritchett's?
Yes.
Right? Like Jake.
Yes.
Yeah, anyways. So they're like the realists, the people on the ground, and then the Cam and them, they're like the dreamers. And then I think it was Cam who said in the end, like, you know, every episode at the end they have like some little quote or whatever.
Yes.
He's like, the realists need the dreamers to get off the ground, but the dreamers need the realists to stay on the ground from time to time. Like I'll put the clip like right there.
No, that's facts.
Yeah.
That's facts.
And it's like you need a good balance, right? Because if the people who never get off the ground will never
This is what
like.
I mean, this is the balance right
Yeah,
here.
see? But
The
yeah,
balance.
I'm like a dreamer. Would you say you're a realist?
Oh, I'm a super
yeah.
realist. Because before I met Ken, I was all about like, I'm never gonna achieve my dreams because it doesn't sound realistic to me. And because because that's what like my parents have fueled my brain with. Is that you can't do this. It's not attainable. And then Ken was like the biggest dreamer I've ever met. He just goes, just do it, man. I believe in you. I'm like, you don't even know me. Like, I just believe in you, bro. Like, you could do it.
Yo, we said that at McDonald's too.
Yeah, we were at McDonald's. It's always at McDonald's.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, like that's the type of friends you need, is the ones that'll not only bring you up but also can like
change your perspective.
Change your perspective, but ones that can also like humble you, you know, ground you. I'd like to think I ground Ken and humble him at times.
Oh yeah, 100. I would say 100%. But like from time to time, like I'll be like, whoop. Stray away a bit. Like let me make the mistake.
Let me be blissful.
Yeah.
Let me be optimistic. Yeah.
Just to kind of like summarize what we said in like the last point. Basically, you want to surround yourself with good people, and just people who like really value you as much as you do. I mean, value you enough, right? Because if you're always constantly alone in your own thoughts and whatever, that's why you'll always feel like you're empty, you're not enough. But when you have like a friend, even just one, right? You'll see like they see as much good as they see a lot of good. What the fuck am I saying, bro?
They see they see the good in you that you don't see in yourself.
Yes. I'll cut that. But yeah, surround yourself with good people because it always goes a long way. And the more people you surround yourself with that are good and like love you enough, you'll start feeling like you'll start loving yourself too. And it's nice to know when you have another friend or person that's kind of going through it as well, because then you don't feel as alone. You're like, oh, you feel the same way that I do.
Yeah.
You know, now we can kind of like bring ourselves up together.
Also, it just takes away the comparison where it's like,
Yes.
oh, I always compare myself like, oh, their life's doing good, blah, blah, blah. But it's like when you hear other people's lives are also not as good, it's like, you know, everyone's got shit.
Yeah.
Like that's the most important thing that I have had to learn, where it's like, oh, I used to think like, oh, this person's got it good and I'm over here struggling. But it's like, no, like everyone has shit that they're dealing with too. They're just not as vocal about it. They're not public with it because no one is in today's age. Who's going to be public with about the shit in their life?
Because everyone on social media is like, yo, that's toxic. Yo, just be a man. You know, don't cry. Just you know, be happy.
Shout
like,
out to all our hate comments on
oh,
TikTok.
thank you for the hate
Beautiful.
comments. I love reading them. I love it.
We love it.
But yeah, anyways, yeah, a lot of people just compare themselves, especially us.
Yeah.
Right? Like for me, like I compared myself to like people who are successful, right? And I think, yo, they're lucky, but then that's just like disrespecting what they've done.
Yeah.
Right? Because they've worked hard for that.
Yeah.
Right? And bro, and I hate it. And the reason why it kills me more is when it comes from a parent. Right? Because you think like, oh, they love me enough. They wouldn't say that. But they're like, why can't you be like this person? Why can't you be like them? Right? And that like kills you. And then it kind of builds up over time when you grow up. Because when my mom used to say that, I'm like, well, yo, man, does that mean, to me, it sounds like she doesn't love me.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, I remember one time she said that, like, why can't you be like this person? I'm like, then why don't you adopt them?
I said the exact same thing, dude.
And then she was quiet.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. 8-year-old me. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah. I remember you saying this on a podcast where comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Beautiful thing to say.
Dude,
super facts.
I can't kill you, bro.
Yeah. Because like, you know, we've mentioned this on the podcast before too. Olivia Rodrigo, 18 years old, Grammys. Billie Eilish, I think 18 or 19 years old, also Grammys. You know, like they've accomplished so much in their teens.
Yeah.
And we're already like I'm turning 21, he's 21, you know. It's like when is it our time?
Yeah.
But it's like if you get so caught up in when is it my time,
you'll never have your time.
You'll never have your time. You're never putting the time.
Yeah.
You know, that it takes to get there. And so you'll just be struggling with this, like, you know, this fear of like, I'm not as good as the next person or whatever have you. And
like when you compare yourself, right, in terms of like whatever it is, you're depriving and degrading yourself from like your own accomplishments, right? So let's say, for me, I want to be like, I want to at least be a designer in my life, right? Eventually I'll reach there, like a fashion designer, right? Have my own label and everything. And before, like, I think the stuff I create it's ugly, it's disgusting, right? I mean, look what like whoever, like Luigi, like Rick Owens, all these designers that they've made, like their pieces are beautiful, right? And I compare it to mine, like, and then I get so down, like, yo, whatever, I'm done, right? But then now it's like, yo, they probably went through some shit, and now look at my designs, like, yeah, it was ugly, but I did it, right? And now that's what's gonna get me far, like doing it, like constantly, like going and going. And now I'm like getting better at my craft, and like I can't wait to like do more stuff with it. And like because I've learned to accept my accomplishments and the mini wins, I feel way better about like the bigger wins, right? And so like I'm so excited for like what I have stored next.
One thing that's like you have to tell yourself is like, don't worry, it's just a process.
Yeah.
Like I've seen someone on TikTok just go like, whenever you're feeling like it's been a bad day, just go, it's just a process.
Yeah.
And then you'll reframe your mind. I think it was Tom Hanks that said, this too shall pass. Oh, you had a bad day. It's been a rough moment. This too shall pass. You have had a good day. This also too shall pass.
Yeah. Right.
So it's like, no matter what like moment in time that you are stuck in, time is the healing factor of it all. You know, only time can tell what is there for you. Yeah. And we always get caught up in like, oh, we should be at this destination. But we forget to like look around us, like how beautiful the journey is. Yeah. I mostly that's me. That's been mostly me because like, for example, like, you know, it can be discouraging.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right? Like let's say you have a certain body goal for yourself, like a physique goal. And then you start working out, you do a solid week, you know, you're feeling good, but then you look in the mirror and it feels like nothing has changed. You go on the weight, the scale doesn't change. And that's the tough days that it happens. Like some days it just feels like you're plateauing.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And you have to be okay with plateauing. And you have to be okay with like going down, you know, having a downfall here and there. Yeah. Because that's what it takes to really make it. You know, no one has it perfect. Literally nobody. You can only make that shit up. You can only write it, you know? So yeah, I try not to compare myself because for me, it's the most demotivating thing. Yeah. I have it a lot, especially, when we were doing film, when we were making Rogue, I remember, like how we finished on set. I'm going to talk about this with Ben soon. Yeah. But when we finished on set, it was a pretty disheartening thing, because I felt like I had finished strong. Yeah. And you know, there's so many people that had doubted me, and I was never gonna do this, and I finished it. And you know, when we finished, I was like, yeah, we did it. You know, and you know, at the end of every shoot, you know, you hear the "it's a wrap," and everyone applauds for you. Yeah. Everyone applauds for the whole crew, and that didn't happen, right? And so then I was on Ben's set the next week. I love Ben. Yeah. I love Ben. And this is my fault. This is like my own like feelings. Okay. When he had finished and everyone applauded, I was just like, this is what I missed. And obviously, you know, you can't change things that happened in the past. You can only like make up for those mistakes that you've done then, you know. Yeah. That's the discouraging part, is like looking back at it as mistakes and just thinking, damn, I could have, should have, would have if I had known. Yeah. You know? But you can't control outcomes. You know? You can only do your best to navigate yourself through it. But if it comes bad, it comes bad. If it's good, it's good. Yeah, and you gotta learn to accept it. And the one big thing is to actually be grateful for those experiences. Yeah. Right? Because a lot of people, they don't practice gratitude today.
That's why they won't feel enough.
Yeah, no one's grateful enough.
Yeah.
I can say that too. I should be grateful I finished a film. I should be, right?
Yeah.
I should be grateful of all the hard work that I have put in,
Mm-hmm.
especially during the time that it was in.
Yeah.
Right. But I still in the back of my head just go, could have done better.
Yeah.
Could have done better.
Why do you think people should be grateful for the losses?
I want to know too, because a lot of things have been happening in my life.
Yeah.
If the people in the podcast remember, I lost my dad.
Rest in peace.
I lost a lot of things,
Yeah.
even a long-term relationship that I really enjoyed having.
Yeah.
Lost a lot of things. And so, I'd want to know. But the one thing I keep coming back to is that you have to be grateful for the bad days, or else you'll never have the good days. Just if it were to like be sunny all the time, you wouldn't be, you just think it's a normal day. That's why we have to have rainy days for you to appreciate the sunny ones.
And you gotta have rainy days to let the plants grow. Damn. Let me repeat that, bro, because that was a weird phrase. 3, 2, 1. You gotta have rainy days. I'll keep that, man. It's whatever. We'll keep it raw. But yeah, like for me, for those who don't know, like I live my life like really freely and happily, right? And I've had a lot of like bad days, and it was hard to accept those because I'm like, yo, what the fuck, man? Why am I feeling down? I shouldn't be feeling like this. I should be happy, right? That was toxic of me. That was toxic positivity. We should do a topic on that. Anyways, yeah, like I was never grateful for the losses before because I'm like, why should I lose? I should always be winning. I should never lose. Losing is seen as like one of the worst things ever. Failure, I should never strive for that, right? Because when you grow up, you're like, you want to be perfect. You want to be like that kid, that perfect ideal person you have in your head, right? Like that perfect ideal person will always be happy, will never have failures, will always win. Reality comes, you're gonna fucking lose. Yeah. You're gonna have these battles, you're gonna have bad days, and you gotta accept those because those days is what shapes you today. Yeah. That's how you're able to like be more you and like learn to like live life like freely. Like that's how I do it, right? Like I've accepted everything as it is. Right, all the bad things that's happened to me. Like for those who don't know, I grew up without a dad. Right, I thought it was one of the worst things. It's affected me like many times, but now I've accepted that. Right, and I'm grateful that it might sound weird, but I'm grateful that I didn't grow up with a dad.
No, it totally makes sense.
Because before I felt like I was never enough because like, oh, if my dad wasn't here, does that mean I'm not enough? So like I've lived with that constant gap, right? And then I filled it up with like my own like self-love and happiness because with him not being in my life, I was able to become who I am now. Right, I've had no pressure, right, and like it's forced me to kind of grow up, but like also become the man who I am today because of my mom. I've learned like different things and just kind of like putting myself out in like the world in the wilderness alone, right? Because my mom can only teach me so much, right? But I need like a guy's perspective. So like I'd hang out with like whoever and like I learn from their experiences and learn more about their dad and how they're taught and incorporate it to my life. So essentially, your dad like is a piece of me, right? And so are you. Like all the guys I've met, like they've helped fill me up and become enough to become the man who I am now. That's kind of like my story.
Yeah, no, that was good, man.
You'll clip that.
You went on that was a really good story.
I think that's the most I've ever talked without being choppy.
There's that, but there's also this. That's the most you've talked about your dad and how it really affected you.
But yeah, man, like growing up like a single parent, it's just you'll always feel like you weren't enough just because they left, right? It's only if it's a choice, right?
Yeah.
So like that's a whole different thing. If it's
Yeah, for sure. When people leave your life, it's like I have that. I like to think I have abandonment issues. And so a lot of when people leave, because I feel so heavily attached to things. Like for example, like I'll have an old painting that I did in kindergarten and I won't want to throw it away. I hold on to everything with a lot of meaning to it.
Shit, yo, hold up.
The littlest of things, right? So when I've lost a lot of people that have been in huge chapters of my life, I think I was not good enough for them to stay.
Now that you bring up the whole like abandonment part and like keeping stuff, I keep a lot of stuff. Yeah, and I think, do I have abandonment issues? I'm gonna do a deep dive when I get home.
I 100% have abandonment issues.
Does that cause you to make you feel like you're not enough?
Always. Yeah, I think so.
Why?
Oh my God, we're having a whole therapeutic session.
Yeah, sure.
Great. I don't know. It started here.
So tell me.
I don't know why. Just like you kind of wish that you were the reason people stay for, Like, when am I gonna be that person that they fight for?
Yeah.
That's the, like, you see it in the movies a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of just wish. I guess that's why I relate to Spider-Man a lot. It's because, you know, he's lost a lot of things, but he still looks at life with this, like, this grace,
Yeah.
you know, like this optimism that things will get better, and things do get better.
Yeah.
But every time that I've had moments of like, oh, this person left me,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, yeah, I was not enough. And I tried so hard. I remember posting it on my spam account. I was like, I'm gonna work so damn hard on myself
Mm-hmm.
that I will never lose again.
Yeah.
Like, I will never have someone look at the holes that I
Mhm.
have, like the missing parts of me.
Yeah.
They're gonna think I'm perfect and I have everything,
Mm.
and I'm too good that they wouldn't want to leave me. And
Yeah.
that's just not true.
Mm.
Because no matter how much you work on yourself, no matter how much you do, there will always be missing parts.
Mm.
Always.
Yeah.
You know, you've had to, you know, shed a lot of skin to get to who you are now.
Mm.
And so it can be very disheartening, but that's the humbling part about
Yeah.
life is life will go, I can give it to you all, but I can also take it away from you in
Yeah.
a second.
Mm.
And I think that's what makes life all that more precious,
Mm.
is that you can lose all that you love in a second.
Memento mori.
So like, yeah, so like live it to your fullest.
yeah.
Which kind of sucks.
No, I know. I feel you.
Mostly because of my opinion.
Yeah. Damn, we learned something new.
Learn something new, yeah. I
Yeah,
guess
but
so.
one thing I it just like popped in my head, like for like, you know, I've been single like my whole life. Right? I said this, I hate saying that, like not just because like I'm single, but it's just because I've said it so many times. I feel like it's annoying to people. But
Just
there are
don't ever
time-
say that to a girl that you're talking to.
yeah, no,
Please.
100%. I'm
She
not gonna
will
say
be
that.
like, what's wrong
Unless
with
she
you?
she sees me from the podcast. I heard your. I'm like, oh, don't say that. anyways. But yeah. So obviously, when you've been single for like a long time, you'll have these feelings like, am I really good enough for another person? Right? Because you seem like, we've talked about it before, like the Being Single is Hard podcast. If you haven't watched that, go ahead and watch it. Where constantly like all these like failed like talking stages, like relationships and whatever, it always falls through. It doesn't go the way you want. You start to think like, am I really desirable? Do people love me? Do people like me? Right? Because of these constant like, oh yeah, abandonment issues. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
dude.
people like leaving me. It's just like people like not, you know, being with me. It's like, will I ever be enough for a person? And it kind of like it really makes you sad. It's like, and then you have these feelings like, I think I'm gonna be single, like alone for my whole life, right? But in the back of your head, you think this is me. In the back of your head, you think like, oh, I'm gonna be married. I'm gonna have kids. You're still hopeful for that, but it's like that little string of hope that you cling on to. But it's always gonna be filled with like shroud of like singleness, like, and like sadness that you'll be alone. So that's when you feel like, oh, maybe I won't be enough.
I feel like the most that you'll ever feel that you're not enough is when you're lonely.
100%.
Like loneliness is the cause of most of your like down
Yeah.
moments in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you have the time, the space to think of all the things that are not going right for you.
Yeah.
Like, for example, a few days ago, this is why my voice is strained, by the way. I was having a really bad mental health day. There were so many things going on in my life, and I would call them a loved one, got into a car accident. Luckily, they're still here today, right? But before that moment, I just go, what more can life hit me with?
Yeah.
Why? Like, what more can you do to me?
Mm-hmm.
And then that happened, and I just was like, oh my God, you know, like, what is this? And so the whole day I tried to like, you know, go on a bike ride, just get out for a little bit to, you know, resurface, come back to my mind. And then it didn't help. At the end of the night, I didn't do what men don't want to do, which is cry.
Yeah.
Men don't cry, because I couldn't cry. I don't know. I just couldn't. I can't.
Yeah.
I literally just went on a bike ride at night and just screamed my head off in an empty parking lot. And that's just the truth of what happens to most men, is like, we have so much that I think it's one of the highlights that we had in TikTok that blew up, is like, we want to scream our head off.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the time, but we bottle it up because we've been taught that we shouldn't have these feelings.
Men shouldn't have emotions.
Men should swallow it up and accept what is going on, what is
Yeah.
wrong with them, what is wrong with life, and move forward and build on that. And it's true. It's true to an extent.
Yeah.
Yes, we will. I do believe that you should, a man should do that. But it got to a point where it was my boiling point, and I couldn't handle it. And so that was me being alone, though. You know, when I was with like my brothers, when I was at work, I was cool.
Yeah.
I was a different person, though. When you have to go back to yourself, it's the dangerous parts. It's the most lonely parts.
Yeah.
That the dark thoughts get in you. And so,
why can't we feel content with ourselves and life? 'Cause I've seen like a lot of people where like they seem so sad nowadays.
I think it's because we have this idea that we can have happiness as an end goal. I don't believe in happiness as an end goal.
Why?
Like there's, happy endings only exist in movies, exist in stories.
So you think you're never gonna have a happy ending whatsoever?
No, definitely not.
Okay, what about when would you feel happy if you got married?
No, I'm not saying like, again, that's not an ending. You always have happy
No,
moments.
yeah.
I believe happiness is a fleeting feeling, but you can only ever feel content with your life. I reframed my mind because I started listening to a podcast with Jordan Peterson. And so he was asked the question, are you happy?
Yeah.
And he started crying because he's not happy. And I guess he's learned that happiness is not an end goal. It shouldn't be an end goal because happiness is almost like, I don't want to say it's like money, but in a way it is, because it's like, as easy as it is to get it, it's easy to lose it. Right. And so, and there's an abundant amount of it.
Yeah.
There's no limit to how much money you can make, and there's no limit to what happiness you can have. It comes and goes.
Yeah.
And so I don't believe in happiness as an end goal, because if you were always happy, dude, you're on some next drugs, dude.
Thank you.
That's awesome for you, right? But that means you're saying that you don't have bad days.
No,
right?
I do have
like,
bad days.
Or like you'll never have bad days
Yeah.
once you have happiness as a goal. It's not real. You can feel content. You can feel like, I'm grateful for my life today, but whatever happens throughout the day, whatever interactions I have, that's what's really gonna affect my mood.
Yeah. The way I view it is, well, I kind of agree. Like, you can't have happiness at the end goal, right? Like, you can do it during, because if you have happiness at the end goal, everything you do will just be based out of like happiness, or quote unquote. What I think happiness is also pleasure, right? Because if you're always chasing like happiness and doing things that are fun and just the best part, because like you just want pleasure, just temporary. Fuck, that made no sense. But give me a sec. I'm fucking up today. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. Hold up. 3, 2, 1. But yeah, the whole pleasure part, the way I'm speaking about it is, let's say you have 2 things you want to do, right? For me, like I've learned to prioritize things. So it's either one, I edit the podcast, or I just go with my friends. One, I go with my friends. That's gonna bring me happiness. Editing the podcast, yeah, it's fun, but it's like I don't want to do it right now. I just want to have fun. I want to choose happiness, right? But if I choose that, I'm steering away from like things that matter, right? So if you always choose happiness over certain things, you're never really gonna get that far. Like, it's a great thing to think of, but it can only last for so long. That's why for me, I went from choosing, I just want to be happy my whole life. Now now my end goal is I just want to live life. And by that, like, I want to have the happy times, I want to have the bad times, right? Because that's life. You'll always have the bad days, and it's great, right? I love it when it rains. I dance when it fucking rains, bro.
Yeah,
I've
seen this guy, dude.
Yeah.
If you guys won't believe him, I've seen it. He's taken videos of it.
Hey, it's great, bro. It's great. I'm just living it.
Yeah, I think because you live by memento mori, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Because you've accepted that as your like, that's like your principle. Beautiful. I wish.
Eventually, man. Eventually, I'm not gonna change you. Like,
no, like it's no, but it's so facts though. Like just as you are, like, you can die today. Yeah, you should live, as much as you can until that.
Yeah, yeah. And just because you with the whole memento mori part, it's like you don't always have to choose happiness. You can I've had my sad days, and as much as I want to be happy during those sad days, I can't. I need to experience it as it is, right? Like, I've cried many times, right, over like stupid things, good things, right? And without those days, I'll always feel like I won't be enough. If I have now that I have those and I accept it, it's like I'm like, okay, I'm human. You know, I can feel I'm enough. Like
I think the painful like lesson behind that is that there is like obviously pain sucks.
yeah,
But there's some pain that you need to go through to have
exactly.
like a happy, not ending, but you know,
Like feel
something-
happier, like
feel
more accepting.
happier.
Be more grateful for it.
be more grateful for
Yeah.
it. Yeah, because like for example, like I don't know, this is a stupid example, but
Mm.
going to the dentist, I fucking hate that shit.
Oh, I feel
That
you.
shit hurts, dude.
Mhm.
I hate the dentist.
Mm.
I hate it, but my teeth look great after. Like you know what I mean? Like that's
Show the audience.
no hell no hell no. Hell no. It just happens though. It's like
Mm.
you have to go through the bad thing to
Yeah.
like really accept and be grateful for everyday life too.
Mhm.
Um,
Let me ask you this. All right, just curious.
okay.
Are you happy?
No,
Why?
I don't know. I'm just not. I don't know how to explain it. I'm just not. God,
It's
I'm
got
not.
real.
There's not. I don't feel like there's anything to be happy about at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but it's like, you know, the month of April and May has just been rainy. You know.
Oh yeah.
It's been affecting everyone's moods. You
Mhm.
know, and because we've kind of had to stay indoors, you've kind of had to have time to yourself to really reflect and really
Yeah,
think
yeah.
about what in life you're missing out. And that's kind of where people start planning out summer, and that's when summer they can have their bliss
Yeah,
of
yeah.
sunsets, you know?
And
So-
bro, we've especially felt that during like the first lockdown,
Ooh.
right? It's like everyone's mental health is at the first lockdown, and yeah, you're with your family, but sometimes you just want to be alone, right? And you can't get that sometimes.
And when you're alone is when you get stuck with
Exactly.
the dark thoughts. Yeah.
Mhm.
Which is, again, going back to the main point is like, we always feel like we're never enough when we're stuck alone.
Mhm.
When we're stuck alone and we're not surrounded by the people that we love
Yeah.
that can remind us and validate our feelings
Mhm.
and, you know, just be telling us how grateful they are to have us.
Yeah.
Is super important.
One thing that's helped me to like be more like grateful and more accepting is being my own cheerleader, right? Like I tell myself, hey, you did good today, right? Yeah, maybe you didn't do so good on like this test or whatever, but you still tried, you still passed, right? Like I reassure myself of like the accomplishments that I've had, because I'm not gonna go to my friends and be like, tell me I did good, right? Like, and then that's forced. Like I tell myself, right? Because it's more reassuring when you hear from yourself, in my opinion, right? So then it makes me like feel more at ease and like I'm more accepting of it's like, hey, you've come a long way, you've lost a lot of weight, right?
I think it's more accepting once you've actually put in the work, though.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
100%. That's what I mean too, right? Even when you've had your losses, just like learn to accept it. Like motivate yourself a little bit. But like, hey, you didn't do so good today. You had a bad day. Breathe, like calm down, take a rest.
Allowing yourself to feel enough is super important, and also understanding that whatever you think sometimes isn't true.
Yeah,
But like at the same time, knowing that it is only true if you believe it. What I mean by that is if you feel like you are at your worst, you will move and you know
Be at
give
your worst.
off like this really
yeah.
bad feeling. But if you move at your best, if you think it, if you just believe in it blindly,
yeah,
it'll show through how you move, how you
Yeah.
talk, right? When you see a charismatic figure, like for me, when I see freaking Conor McGregor walk around the ring, I always believe that man's gonna win.
yeah.
He hasn't won a fight since 2016,
But you still believe?
but I still believe in him, dude. He always, this is what he says. He's like, I'm the best version of myself than any other year.
Yeah,
And then you see the way he trains, you see the way he moves, and you just believe him blindly.
yeah.
And it's like that. Impostor. Being kind of like faking it, you know, till you make it.
Yeah, I get it.
In a weird way, it
I get
works.
it. Fake it till you make. It's just like that. What's that guy's name? Ty something. It's like, hey, here in my garage here with my Lamborghini and these new bookshelves, and then he got caught like he's faking it. And just some guy questioned like everything about him. He's like, hey, what's the formula for like this housing thingy? And he was like kind of like going over the questions. Like, no, we have to talk about blah blah blah. And I'm like, damn, you fucking faker. That kind of reminded me of this philosopher. His name's Marcus Aurelius, right? He was like an infamous like king, I think it was a king of Greece, if I remember. Anyways, that doesn't matter. But the one thing that stuck by me was like, and I've done it how I live my life, and I didn't know until he said it, which I learned like this semester. And he said like, the way you control your thoughts is how you see the world, right? So if you if you see the world as bad, like every single outcome is bad, then that's what you're gonna
Kind
be.
of like if you look for a yellow car, you always find one.
Yeah. And so like you think of it two ways, right? Let's say you got a bad mark, right, on a test. Either you see yourself, oh, yo, I'm dumb, I'm stupid, whatsoever. Another one would be like, it's okay, you tried, you can do better next time.
Yeah,
right?
I've had someone tell me that because I've been so negative lately
Mhm.
and been like such a negative Nancy.
Yeah,
I've hated on negative Nancy's, and I'm now turning into one.
yeah,
Uh, but they said that you're starting to look at the world more red,
yeah,
like a bull. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like everything's bad, even though a lot of bad has been happening.
yeah.
I get where you're coming from for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one thing I've learned to like really ease into like making me feel like I'm enough,
Mm.
right? Because when I think of myself, when I hate on myself from time to time, tell myself you're only seeing that now, but like think about like before, like next,
Mm.
right? Like see yourself like you've come a long way. Look like you lost this part, you lost a little weight. You're doing better than before. Before you mess up on this, now you don't,
Mm.
right? And it's just like seeing it from a different light. Essentially, just controlling your thoughts to make it seem brighter.
You know who I try to look up to do this to myself?
Who?
Muhammad Ali.
Why?
He always says like, I am pretty, I'm the best, I'm the greatest of
Yeah.
all time. No one can touch me.
Mhm.
I'm the fastest. He's the like positive affirmations that he
Yeah.
gives to himself. It was like when you but like I didn't say it as good as him. He says it and it's like slam poetry. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. Have you ever heard him talk?
Yeah, many times.
What a beautiful
Mhm.
way of like he's such a great speaker.
Yeah.
But like I try to like do that and like I only do that when I like work out.
Yeah.
When I work
No,
out,
I feel you. Yeah.
you know, I like talk to myself like
Mhm.
I'm the best. I'm the best.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
the best. Like one of my other favorite fighters, Rose Namajunas.
Mhm.
Not so cool with her right now. She
Mhm.
lost her belt.
Yeah.
But she enters the ring saying, "I'm the best. I'm
Yeah.
the best." And she knocked out a world champ. And then Joe Rogan comes up to her. He goes, "We saw you entering before the fight started. You kept telling yourself, 'I'm the best. I'm the best.'" And then she took the mic. She's like, "I am the best,"
Mhm.
and she won. You know,
Yeah.
and it was such a beautiful moment of like
Uh-huh.
the more that you like feed yourself, no matter how like silly you sound to the world,
Mhm.
you know, as long as you keep at it with the positive
Yeah.
affirmations and doing the work that is
Yeah.
needed
Yeah.
to get to that place,
You'll make it happen.
you'll make it happen and you'll make it look effortless.
Yeah, like bro, positive affirmation goes a long way. That's how like you kind of overcome like not feeling enough. And like bro, literally I've said it from the first like start of the year. I've told my friends like, yo, this is my fucking year.
Yeah.
This is my fucking year. Like, and like my results are like showing. I'm like, yo, I'm meeting the right people. I'm doing better, right? Mentally and everything. I'm like, yo, it's my fucking year. I'm calling it and everything. Yo, thank you. Thriving out here.
Hashtag King
Uh-huh.
Kenny.
Yeah, so like
King Kenny.
literally, I keep speaking. I say it every day too. Like, this is my fucking year, right? I say it calmly but confidently, and
This
like,
guy took my 2020 energy.
yeah. And like, it's great. I'm like, yeah, I believe in myself more than I have before, right? Like literally, like I say, it's my fucking year. Like the booth that's like popping off right now.
This is
Right.
Ken's year. This is
Yeah.
I believe it too. I
Mhm.
really do.
Yeah, man. Like I'm fucking like I believe it. Like I'm gonna be the fucking best version of myself every single fucking year. Constantly working on myself. I'm like, yo, I'm getting better. I'm getting better. Before I never did that. Right? Yo, come on, yeah. Hit me with the compliment.
I think
now.
that's a great place to
yeah.
cap it off.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Make sure to follow our socials down below.
If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe.
Mhm.
Tune in to our Spotify
Yeah.
and our Apple Podcast. It'll also
Mhm.
be in the description below.
Yeah, rate us out of 5 stars. Leave a review.
Please.
Yeah, it
and,
goes a long way.
And shout out to everyone for the following on TikTok.
Uh-huh.
Instagram's going up too.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Mhm.
We do have goals for the end of this month,
Yeah.
and you guys have been crushing it.
Uh-huh.
Keep spreading the word out.
Mhm.
Share it to a friend.
Yeah, and like we kind of have some things in the works right now. A couple projects, so keep that keep that back of your head. We can't stress it enough, but if you guys have any like topics that you want us to go over, it can be like love, relationships, life, mental health, anything like that. Like we would love to address it and like give our own like input on it. So like comment down below right now, and yeah, we'll make sure to get back to it. Maybe make a video on certain topics and see which one like it's like coming up more.
And let us know if you really want us to start a Discord, because we
Yeah,
have
we
thought
wanna-
about it. We've
yeah.
gotten a comment about it.
Uh-huh.
And so, yeah.
We're just gonna need like a lot of help on that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Other than that, man, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe.
Yep, said that.
Oh, he said that.
That's been the booth.
It's been the booth, episode 39, and that's been it. Peace.
Make sure to leave a like.
I'm sorry.